Hey everyone, it is Sunday the 16th right now. It's in the afternoon. A little bit gloomy right now. It's a little bit of a break that we have got right now from the rain. So I'm in between Los Angeles County and Orange County, much more coastal. So it's been raining here pretty steady the last 2 days, and at times pretty heavy rain. It's a pretty good break right now. But from my understanding, it's going to rain, keep on sprinkling today, and then another rain for the next 2 days, right? So we'll see what's going to happen. I was going to give you guys an update on my seedling because I guess now's a good time to kind of just take a look at it, and especially before any more rain comes in. But they're doing pretty well. I only had one issue of one seedling that unfortunately didn't make it. I think I showed you guys that video last time. So I'll probably show it to you guys again when we get to that tree. But let's take a look at these. These guys right here is two Pickering trees. Two Pickering trees right here. They're growing really well. I have liked how these Pickering seedlings have done. They seem to grow at like a pretty nice steady pace. So there's actually two really close by each other that I put down. Pickering is monoembryonic, right? So I'm gonna just let them grow. They I didn't do any kind of pruning. They kind of naturally branch by themselves. Some of it I might have to end up removing some of the branches because it's get too many, I think, in my opinion, like this one. I also grafted on, if like this one I put a lemon zest, this right here. It seems to have taken, but the buds are dormant and the earlier push kind of fizzled out. See what's gonna happen with that. I also put another one. But this one is not a lemon zest. This one's a sweet tart, and these are immature seedling scions, so they shouldn't induce any early blooming. That's the hope, and they're kind of like more or less my insurance in case these Pickering seedlings produce really inferior fruits. Right? If they do, then I have this kind of very well-known varieties, and I could just kind of prune everything else off and let that take over. That's the goal, right? So let's kind of take a look at a few more. These are some cherry seedlings, and they're just in like all kinds of various size. So here's a cherry, that's a cherry, this one's a cherry seedling also, and then this one right here. So what I could tell you about these cherry seedlings, I put this one in first. It's a cherry seedling, but it has a nice citrus zest to the leaf, so I'm hoping it had some cross pollinations or some kind of genetics from either like a Gary lineage or like a PPK lineage. That's my goal, that's my hope. And these two I put it in this year. You could tell they're not as vigorous, and especially this one has just been very, very slow growing. I have to look back at my notes. I'm not sure if I put that in this year or last year, but this one is another Pickering seedling. This one that have the lemon zest, the citrus zest kind of smell, has been producing very kind of normal kind of reddish leaves. These has been like very orangey, which is kind of reminds you of the cherry, which has that. This one's very orangey, and can't remember what this one is, but let's see. Next up, there's some lemon zest seedlings. There's two of them right here. These are actually from two separate seeds. They were mono embryos. The lemon zest do produce seeds, embryos that's both poly and mono. A few more seedling starters I got there. I recently removed a lot of seedlings from under the shade and putting it more outdoor, and it's kind of doing a bit better. I was getting a lot of pest issues when it was heavily in the shade. So okay, let's take a look. Here's Bombay. There's a Bombay seedling, and I have 3 Bombay seedlings in the ground, and unfortunately this is essentially almost like the same size when I put it in the ground. Might have got like a flush and stuff, but it has not been as vigorous compared to it's kind of funny because Bombay is supposed to be a very vigorous seed variety, but the seeds kind of remind me a bit of like a Kent seed. They kind of do very well that first year, and then they just kind of fizzle out. Like they've been kind of growing, but it has been very slow. And that's the 3 Bombay experience I had with it. While something like a Pickering, which is kind of known to be a dwarf, like, right? All the Pickerings that they have been growing at a very good, steady pace. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Here's another lemon zest seedling right here. There's actually 2. There's again, but they came from mono embryos. But I do have 2. This one's growing really nicely. This one's a bit slower, so see how it goes. Here's the Bombay seedlings right here. 2 Bombay seedlings. Here's the other one. And like I said, been pretty kind of slow compared to other things. Alright, let's keep on going. Let me try to see if I could even remember all the seedlings. Like this bunch right here. I can't remember what I grew. I have to kind of go back to the videos. I know I noted it somewhere in there. But they were a mixture of rosy gold and cogshaw. I am thinking this one's rosy gold. Because rosy gold, I believe it's poly. And cogshaw is mono. And I believe these are the mono ones right here. Doing really well. This ain't the best spot in the yard. So we'll see how it does. You know, this spot does get the coldest, one of the coldest spots in the yard. So we'll see what happens with it. Here's a Saint Alone / guava seedling. I don't know if you guys been looking at some of my videos. I believe Saint Alone and guava, those 2 varieties, are different. My guess is this might be Saint Alone, just because when I had the fruits off of this, the fruits that this came from was very kind of a strong Indian piney spice to it. You know, that's what I remember. Even though it's a Myanmar kind of cultivar, it had a strong Indian piney spice to it, but like a strong kind of Asian sweetness and flavor to the flesh. Okay, so this is Saint Alone. I'm gonna call it Saint Alone from now on, going forward. Let's see. Okay, up next, here's a lemon zest poly seed. Here's one of the trunk. Here's the other trunk. Doing really well. Here's a cack. Here's a cack. I put this in the ground. Again, poly. You can see the 2 trunks. Let's see. Here's a honey kiss. There's a honey kiss right here. Also, you know, I think I actually put 2 separate honey kiss here. Yeah, this one honey kiss and this is another one. Let's see what else. Here's another lemon zest. You probably see a lot of these other trees mixed in with it, but they're actually in pots. So, you know, I'm not sure if I'm gonna cover. For right now, at least this video, I'm gonna cover all the trees that's in the ground. Okay, so here's a lemon zest seedling, doing pretty well. I think this one does have 2 trunks. Here's the other one, but that one's been going slowly. This one has been going more vigorously. And let's keep on going. Let's see, here's some sweet tart seedlings. This one has like 3 or 4 trunks coming off of it. And here's the sweet tart. Kind of has this curvature on the leaves. You know, this was one like I can't really tell which one's the clone, which one is the non-clone on this. Let's see. I believe this is another honey kiss right here. This one has 2 or 3 trunks. This one's the tallest one. Keep on going. Let's see. I don't remember what this one is. Okay, guys, let me look into this. Hold on a minute. All right. Well, what I just described as honey kiss is actually coconut cream, guys. So these two are coconut creams. I'm glad I'm recording this because this is going to help me out in the future in terms of kind of figuring out what on earth I plant all over the place, because I do have some labels in the ground, but you know how that goes. You know, they get lost and some make it, some don't make it in terms of the label. This one is a honey kiss seedling, so really nice, looking, shaping out really well. That's a honey kiss seedling. I am trying to dig into this. Oh, this is a potted one. This one I'm going to count as in the ground because something funny kind of happened, which I didn't realize. I have this in a tiny 1 gallon pot, right? Like, you know, about 1 gallon like this. We're very small. It's sitting on top of some pavers, right? But you know, the soil underneath, it's not compressed or anything, it's just pavers. And this Malika pretty much rooted all the way in. Like I cannot remove it without like damaging some roots on it. So this is a Malika, and so I'm gonna just let it be because it's growing really well. I have a few other Malikas. They haven't grown as vigorously, but this one's a Malika. Let's see. I'm not much of a fan of Malika, but hey, it wants to live, so I'm gonna just let it be. Here's some more Saint Talon right here. This one's doing really well, getting pretty huge and tall, you know. So I think it's gonna hit. It's about getting close to about 6 foot right now, so it's doing really well. Okay, have some dwarf Hawaiian here. Dwarf Hawaiian is mono. I got 2 seeds. I planted right next to each other, 2 seedlings. Here's a sweet tart seedling. This one's growing really nicely. This is close to about 6 feet tall. Maybe taller if it wasn't leaning. I kind of try to prop it up. We're gonna have to do some pruning after the rainstorm. But with the wind and everything, it was kind of pushing a little bit, kind of making it lean a little bit. So that's sweet tart. 2 trunks, 2 good sized trunks, maybe some other smaller ones there. So this one's here. Here's another trunk here. Okay, let's keep on going. Oh, I don't think I ever showed you guys this one. So this is some Altafo seedlings, which I grafted with a hybrid zygotic immature non-blooming lemon zest seedling. So 2 of these here. You can see it's kind of interesting leaves. It's a little bit skinnier than other lemon zest leaves I've seen in the past. And here is a Altafo seedling right here, getting pretty tall, you know, getting close to 6 feet. And then here's the one that unfortunately just died on me. I started noticing the decline like 2-3 weeks ago. I'm probably gonna put a video out on it because I did record videos at different stages, and I was gonna capture the decline on it. I already noticed it, and I already know my best guess is just some kind of fungal issue that it had. You know, that's my best guess. It shouldn't have anything to do with soil or anything like that because it's very packed in there. So you know, there's like 1, 2. That's probably like, you know, within a feet. There's like three other mango plants, and this one was one of the most vigorous. It was a honey kiss seedling. It was the one I would have guessed as the hybrid, the zygotic hybrid. Right here is the one I would have guessed as the clone. And my guess on that was because of the leaf color. It had a very nice, intense, bright red leaf. That was very pretty. I wish I should have, you know, probably harvested some of the scions and grafted it elsewhere. But, you know, seeing that it got susceptible to something, that probably means that it's probably not the most disease resistant already because it's doing so well. I'm not even sure what, you know, why it declined this badly and stuff. And at first I thought maybe some kind of gophers got to the trunk, but no, the trunk is clean, everything's clean, nothing 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 should have kind of killed it, but at this point I could just say it's probably unfortunately probably just it's a kind of fungal pressure. Maybe at best something might sprout back in at the bottom, from underground, the roots, but it looks pretty dead right now, but who knows, maybe you get lucky and something does sprout back up. Okay, let's keep on going. Let's see, I have right here, this is a cotton candy right here, cotton candy seedling right here. There's 2 trunks. This one's the most vigorous one, and here's the other one. Not sure which one is the clone, which one is the hybrid. That's all kind of a bit of guesswork, right? I think I've shown you guys this a few times, maybe not, who knows. This is a pretty large and wide and kind of nice development of limbs. I am not sure what this is. This was a tree that I got from Florida, a grafted tree. And how much you think about it, I think it might have been a grafted phoenix. It died on me in 2023. That graft, the rootstock, you could look at it, that rootstock was probably no more than 3 or 4 months old, right? It was a 3 or 4 months old rootstock. It was grafted way too young in my opinion. It didn't survive that 2023 spring. So unfortunately that died. I thought it was dead, and then sometimes during the middle of summer it started sprouting some below the ground, started sprouting some branches. And this is only 2 years when you think about it. Maybe, 23, right? So like in the summer, 2.5 years. But man, it has really developed a nice canopy. I think this might be stringless peach, just because of where I got that plant from. But I'm not really too sure. I think this might be a stringless peach rootstock. That's my guess. But we'll see until it gets fruits. It has a lot of the characteristic of stringless peach, because I have a good buddy, Fee, that I know that he grows it, and same characteristic, same way, the same growth pattern, same leaf color and everything. The only one interesting thing about this is that there's days when I do a leaf test on this and it just smells like kind of classic, and then days when I do a leaf test and it smells citrusy. So I'm very kind of confused what it should smell like in terms of the leaf terpenes, right? At first, I thought it was just my nose going off, but I tried that several times. It just kind of keeps on switching between mild classes to mild citrus. So, see how it goes. Okay, all right, guys. So that's that. Let me try to. I have to get around this to get to the other side. All right, so here's some more seedlings. This is an M4 seedling. You could see there's a large trunk here, another large trunk here, and here's the M4. Like, they have these like kind of orangey flush. It makes it pretty easy to identify in one way or another, but it's always these orange kind of flushes on it, similar to like a cherry flushes like that, and orange sherbet flushes like that, right? So this one I'm holding on to. This one actually, again, remember guys, these seedlings I put in the ground, or I started in pretty much 2023, right? 2023, yeah, 2023. I pretty much started these seedlings in 2023, that summer of 2023. This one actually bloomed this year, right? It bloomed this year in early kind of spring. And you think about it, that was only like a 1.5, not even 2-year-old tree, and it was blooming already. So it sent out some bloom. This one didn't, so we'll see. Both of those an M4, but I can't tell which one's a clone, which one is not. The leaf smell, the structure, they're all too similar, which means that the hybrid itself was probably pollinated with its own variety, probably pollinated with another M4 flower bloom, Okay, next up is a coconut cream. It's three trunks on this. One right here, and another one right there. Might maybe have some smaller ones down there too, but you know, these are coconut cream. Coconut cream has this nice kind of brownish kind of flush, you know. So I'm gonna keep on going. Let's see. All right. Here's another coconut cream right here. Leaves look kind of funny on this because I did spray copper. Try to spray at at the mildest sunny days, without the sunny days. But I could tell this is a bit of copper fungicide damage. It kind of distorted the leaves a bit. But this is a coconut cream seedling, right? Here's my other one that's doing really, really well. This is check this out, guys. This is a M4 seedling. There's three trunks on here. This one I'm holding right here, this one bloomed. This one bloomed this year. The other two, that one right there, has not bloomed. So it was interesting that this one bloomed. I don't, again, another one, but I have not or don't know which one is the clone and which one is the hybrid. They're too close. The growth structure, the leaf, the smell, they're too close. That they smell too similar to be able to identify them. Okay. And here's a sweet tart seedling. I always forget about this one. Every time I film this, I forget to show this one. This one has two large trunks, and then a few kind of tiny trunks on here, which I'm not sure they're separate embryos, right? Or it's part of the same branching from the same one. But there's clearly two separate main trunks on there. Two definitely different trees that came out of the polyseed. So this one right here and this one right here. This one got a little bit of cold damage. It was flushing during some of the colder nights, right? But this one is thing right here. So this is the one I always tend to forget about. It's a sweet tart one, and whatever it produces, I think it's gonna produce whatever. Even the hybrid seems to smell like sweet tart, so it's probably gonna still produce something similar. But I've been keeping my poly seeds together, and the reason why I've been doing that is I do want to be able to identify which one's the poly, which one's a clone, out of that poly seed, and which one is a hybrid. I really, that's one of my purpose is kind of just to identify that, right? So if I start separating stuff, I don't want to do that. It's just going to get mixed up and confused up, right? Like if this ends up fruiting, okay, so what? It has two trunks close to each other, but then it'd be cool to have two different types of fruit. If not, it'd be two similar fruits, right? So that's why I kind of been leaving all my poly clones together and plan it that way. Okay, guys, well, that's an update on my seedling in-ground project, and had a nice break in the weather, and I'm gonna get ready for 2 more days of rain. All right, thanks everyone.